Russ Bowen for our next question for Senator Smith, Mr. Graham, Mayor McCrory, and Judge Orr. Russ?
North Carolina law is heavily tilted against home rule for counties. Now, this is a question that's been submitted by the public. Would you support and work for laws that let counties enact a local option sales tax, impact fees, or other revenue measures without approval from the legislature?
I think the relationship between state government and county government, and I've served as a county commissioner and I've served as a senator. So I've been in both places, and I'm the only candidate who has been in both places. We set the relationship between our state government and our local governments back in the 1930s. That was when all the local governments were broken and the state government had some money back in the Depression. That's changed dramatically. And the relationship between state governments and local governments is totally mixed up now. It's hard to do a budget because all the relationships are intertwined. I think we really need to have a new look at what is the relationship of the state government, make sure we get authority and responsibility there. What is the relationship and the authority and responsibility at the local government? I think that is critical to do that. I believe that we have enough tax revenue. I agree with Ronald Reagan. The problem is we don't have enough taxes. The problem is we spend too much. Now, what happened was the state took the county's revenue stream when they reformed Medicaid. And we've got to somehow give county governments the chance to become whole again. There were two options given to the county governments. We're going to let the people decide whether they want to impose taxes on themselves or not.
Thank you. Mr. Graham?
Yeah, quick answer to the question is no. Why? Because I'm worried that we're going to have a lot of people that are on fixed income, that are dealing with high property taxes on a year in and year out basis, being pushed off their property or being pushed out of their homes. I have a worry about that. The other issue is we come to this issue because Raleigh has sent down mandates at the county level without sending the money to do the job for the mandate. And we've got to stop doing that. For example, if you want to build a road in your county, county commission wants to approve a bridge project or something, you ought to be able to get some of the gas tax money that you spend at the pump to be able to do the job. Not figure out another revenue source by which you can bilk the public because they're paying already one of the highest gasoline taxes despite our efforts in the country. So you need to get the money that you're sending to Raleigh back to the county level so that the counties can do the job for you, the school boards as well. So sending the money back with the mandates is the way to solve the problem. You already pay enough money in taxes, ladies and gentlemen. You already taxed one of the highest people public states in the South and the Southeast. You're paying enough tax. You need tax relief. That's what we should be talking about, not ways to try to figure out how to tax the public more money and putting water meters on wells.
Thank you.
Yes for local needs, no for state needs, because I already pay a very high income tax for state needs and all the other state taxes, and the state ought to be taking care of what they owned up to from the beginning. Listen, I've been a city council member for 6 years and a mayor for 12 years, and it's so demeaning to have to go to the state capitol and get down on your hands and knees and kiss their rings, ask for permission from someone from New Bern and tell you what you can do back home. And you shouldn't have to do that. I believe in government closest to the people. That's the basic definition of Republican and conservative, is bring it closest to the people and decentralize government. And why should people in Raleigh or in Washington be telling us what we can and cannot do? And I believe in as much local control as possible, but believe me, the state ought to take care of the responsibilities that they're taking taxes out of our income checks every week or every month right now. And they're not doing that with roads, with our criminal justice system, and with many other things at this point in time.
Thank you. Judge Orr.
I would not be in favor of a pure home rule shift in North Carolina. And one of the reasons simply is that the General Assembly loves to shift the tax responsibility down to the local level, because it allows them to avoid the responsibility of making a tough decision either to raise or not raise taxes. We saw that with the transfer of the Medicaid funds. They take back money and say, well, we're not going to raise taxes, but we'll let you here in the county do it. And it allows them to avoid responsibility. I think that we all have to recognize that we need, when it comes to tax policy in particular, a certain degree of uniformity. One of my concerns would be that we already have this incredible patchwork quilt of taxing in North Carolina. And what it allows is a little tax here, a little tax there, add a fee, put a tax loophole in here for a special interest group. So my concern that if you went to a pure home rule situation, we would see even further disparities. Not all communities have the resources, the big money, the banks of Charlotte to cover needs. Got the big banks, and you can't have it both ways. You can't say we want home rule, but oh yeah, we want the state to provide all our services.
All right, thank you, candidates.